Alison, you are a suffragette today, right?
I am, from 1910.
1910. Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, in those days we were campaigning to get women the vote. Just as in Belarus today, women are campaigning to have a meaningful vote. And like we did, risking violence, arrest, threats to family, having to go into exile like our leader, Christopher Hackworth. She left us to take refuge in France to avoid being arrested, torture in prison, and yet we still come out on the streets, just like they do in the women in Belarus do. They know what the risks are, but they have the courage still to go out because it's so important, not just for this generation but for future generations. So I'm representing my sisters in the Suffragette Movement. We are with you.
Thank you.
Statue of Millicent Fawcett, because as in Belarus, people had all sorts of different ways that they would protest and get their voices heard. Millicent Fawcett was the leader of the suffragists. They believed in peaceful means of protest. Sadly, in those days, they were just meeting against brick walls all the time, so the suffragettes were born, who were much more militant with smashing windows and chaining themselves to railings. There's a statue in the House of Commons of a knight holding a sword, and it's cut in half, and the reason for that is that one of the suffragettes got in there and chained herself to it, and they had to cut the statue to get her free and take her to the police station. There were many arrests of suffragettes right here in Parliament Square, and a lot of their demonstrations were put down by police very violently. They were also assaulted by male bystanders right here in Parliament Square. There are women mentioned on the base of the statue. There are suffragettes and suffragists from all different classes, from aristocrats with titles to women from the north of England who worked in factories and mills. And they would come down here. There's also a goddaughter of Queen Victoria on the base of the statue. She was from India, so this was actually a global movement. The courage calls for courage everywhere, as I said before. I think very much applies to the Belarusian women. Most importantly, we need to come up to date. We need to talk about specific women who are suffering repression right now in Belarus.
That's our list of political prisoners of whom we want to talk today, but this list is not exclusive. This list takes quite a lot of people. Every person who is arrested has a mother, has a wife, and many women who are suffering now have children who are also suffering. And these horrific incidents are happening right now as we speak in Belarus, because the women there are marching today for their freedom, and I'm glad that we're here today offering them our support. Thank you so much for coming here today. Thank you.
In the shadow of Chernobyl, I saw all sorts of very strong women getting together and finding their own answer to their own problems. These were not victims. I knew this already. They were survivors, and I knew they had the potential to become fighters. I didn't know how long it would take, but it's happening now. I'm incredibly proud of the women of Belarus, whether they're based here or are in Belarus. I salute you. Niski poklon.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Живи Беларусь!
Once convinced that they are doing what is right and their rebellion is just, will go on, no matter what the difficulties, no matter what the dangers, so long as there is a woman alive to hold up the flag of rebellion.